He gets up on Oos. He's out there a little bit wider now. Is Aiden Murphy, but here comes Gout Gout. We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this universe.
No one expected it. Not from Australia, not from a teenager, but then came Gout Gout and everything changed. Track and field has long been a showcase of the world's fastest. And usually, the spotlight stays on the same names, the same countries, the United States, Jamaica. But every now and then, someone steps into that light from a place no one was watching. That's exactly what Gout Gout did. A 17-year-old sprinter from Queensland, Australia, who shattered expectations and rewrote what was possible for a young athlete in the sport. His rise wasn't overnight, it wasn't handed to him, and it didn't begin with a gold medal or a big sponsorship deal. It started with a family fleeing conflict in South Sudan. Gout was born in Ipswich, Queensland in 2007, 2 years after his parents escaped war and began a new life in Australia. The name he carries, Gout, was a clerical error in translation. But in a twist of fate, that mistake would become one of the most talked about names in sprinting. In school, Gout was the kid who couldn't be caught. On the soccer pitch, it wasn't just his footwork that stood out, it was his speed. Coaches noticed, so did his teachers, and it didn't take long before a coach suggested he try running with intention. From that moment, the track became his new field. At 14, Gout made headlines across Australia. He ran 100 meters in 10.57 seconds, an absurd time for someone his age. No elite gear, no cutting-edge training, just raw talent and a relentless mindset.
He's putting the challenge down to Gout Gout and Josiah John out wide from WA. Josiah John, Gout Gout though now shows his class. Gout Gout from Queensland, 20.87. That is a national record.
A year later, he took it further, running the 200 meters in 20.87 seconds and shattering the under-18 national record. That performance marked him as more than a local prodigy, it marked him as a national phenomenon. But that was just the start. In August 2024, the world saw him on an international stage for the first time. At the World U20 Championships in Lima, he sprinted to a silver medal in the 200 meters at just 16 years old. The margin between him and gold? Less than a blink. But even without first place, he left with something more important: global attention. Analysts began to include his name in conversations about future Olympic contenders. Then came December 2024, and what followed wasn't just a breakthrough, it was a statement.
So we're away, a really good start there, and now starts to move through his Gout Gout. So the Queenslander, who hasn't even touched the ground yet, the young man, and he's boomed away here in the heats, and he's gone. 10.05! How do you do, Gout Gout? That is absolutely unbelievable.
At the Australian All-Schools Championships, Gout ran a wind-assisted 100 meters in 10.04 seconds. That alone was wild, but he backed it up with a legal 10.17 in the final, taking down the national under-18 record.
We're about to wind him up and watch him go here, Gout Gout. He's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world. 20.07.
And when he returned for the 200 meters, he ran 20.04. Beating a record that had stood for more than half a century. These runs positioned him among the fastest youth sprinters in the world, second only to legends like Arion Knighton. In April 2025, Gout lit up the track with a 200-meter sprint that still has people talking. At the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, he lined up against seasoned national competitors. The gun went off, and what followed was one of the most electrifying races in recent Australian track history.
He gets up on Oos. He's out there a little bit wider now. Is Aiden Murphy, but here comes Gout Gout. We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this universe.
Gout powered through the curve and exploded down the straight to stop the clock at 19.84 seconds. The tailwind measured plus 2.2 meters per second, just over the legal limit for record ratification. Still, the time sent shockwaves through the athletics world. It was faster than any junior Australian had ever run, and even among seniors, only a handful in history had achieved sub 19.90 times. That same weekend, he clocked 2 wind-assisted 9.99s in the 100 meters. Again, unofficial. Again, undeniable. Commentators called it the fastest sprinting weekend in Australian junior history. Off the track, Gout remains focused. He balances classes at Ipswich Grammar School with training under coach Di Shepherd. He's calm, collected, still learning, still growing. His coach describes him not just as a sprinter, but as a student of the sport. He studies races, he breaks down technique, he works on the details that turn fast runners into champions. And while many teenage athletes chase quick fame, Gout stays grounded, focused on longevity. But there's more to his story than times and medals. Gout's presence on the track carries deeper meaning. He's a son of refugees, a young man representing more than just a nation. He's representing a new face of Australian sport. In a country where diversity is still finding its way into mainstream narratives, Gout is opening new lanes for future athletes who look like him. He's been invited to speak at schools, featured in cultural magazines, and highlighted as a role model for kids of all backgrounds. And as the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo approach, the buzz only grows. His biggest challenge yet? A teenage rivalry that could define the future of sprinting. Japan's own rising star Shimizu recently clocked a legal 10.00 in the 100 meters. Their inevitable showdown is already being called one of the most exciting matchups in years. Both athletes represent not just national pride, but a generational shift in sprinting. Gout is preparing for that moment. He's working on his start, tightening his form, building endurance. He's not running just for headlines, he's running to prove that what he's done so far is only the beginning. A legal sub-10 in the 100, a new record in the 200. Either could happen at any moment. But no matter what comes next, Gout Gout has already redefined what's possible for Australian sprinters. And while his name began as a clerical error, it now echoes in stadiums around the world. From a refugee family in Ipswich to the edge of global track dominance, Gout's story isn't just impressive, it's inspirational. The world is watching, and he's not slowing down. Gout's training philosophy reflects a maturity beyond his years. While many young athletes focus on power or flashy results, Gout emphasizes the complete picture: recovery, nutrition, mental strength, and consistency. His coaches note that he's constantly reviewing footage, not just of himself, but of sprinting legends like Usain Bolt, Noah Lyles, and Ariane Knighton, searching for patterns, analyzing technique, and seeking the smallest improvements. This analytical mindset, paired with his physical gifts, makes him a rare talent. Off the track, he's just as focused on impact. Gout regularly participates in mentorship programs, visiting local schools and community events. He shares advice with younger athletes, emphasizing that talent is only part of the equation, that greatness requires effort, resilience, and humility. It's this combination of drive and character that has earned him respect, not just from fans, but from fellow athletes and coaches around the world. There's also a growing anticipation within the Australian athletic community. With the 2026 Commonwealth Games on the horizon and the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics not far off, many believe Gout could become the most successful male sprinter in Australia's history. Sponsors are lining up, coaches from around the world are paying attention, and young fans are already wearing shirts with his name. For someone who wasn't expected to go this far, this fast, Gout Gout is turning into a symbol of what's possible when potential meets preparation. This isn't just about sprinting anymore. It's about legacy. Stay tuned. Blaze Ingram just destroyed the competition, and he's only 13. Whether it's on the track or tearing up the football field, this kid keeps making headlines. But his rise to viral fame didn't start overnight. It began with one jaw-dropping race. At just 7 years old, Rudolph Blaze Ingram left the world stunned. In a viral video that lit up the internet, he clocked a 100-meter dash in 13.48 seconds, faster than most high schoolers, closing in on adult sprinter territory. People didn't know whether to believe it, but the stopwatch didn't lie. That single race turned Blaze into a global sensation, and now, 6 years later, he's proving it was only the beginning. Today, Blaze is 13 years old and still doing what he does best, leaving people speechless. Known as the fastest kid in the world, he's racked up hundreds of youth sprint titles, gained national attention, and even received a Division I college football offer from Sacramento State before he hit middle school. That offer, officially extended in May 2025, came after scouts tracked him for years, impressed by his dominance in both track and football. His fame began with that now legendary clip where he left all other kids in the dust with flawless form and piston-like speed. The world couldn't believe it. Usain Bolt's world record is 9.58 seconds. But for a 7-year-old to hit 13.48, that was almost unthinkable. Blaze's name was suddenly everywhere. Sports blogs, news headlines, viral reels. He wasn't just fast. He looked like he was born to run. Skeptics questioned the footage. Was the track measured correctly? Was the timing accurate? Did the video distort reality? But those doubts didn't matter to Blaze. He kept working. And he didn't stop proving people wrong. His father, Rudolph Ingram Sr., runs Blaze's social media and has been his biggest supporter since day one. Their bond is built on training routines, early mornings, and shared goals. Blaze's Instagram now boasts over 733,000 followers, showcasing his evolution from a sprinting prodigy to an all-around athlete, with training clips, motivational posts, and game footage. But Blaze isn't just about track. He's a beast on the football field, too. Playing for the Tampa Ravens, he's known for juking defenders, breaking away with ease, and turning ordinary plays into highlight reels. With elite speed and football IQ beyond his years, some coaches say he's a future college star, maybe even NFL material. His performances have even caught the attention of pro athletes. By age 7, he had a six-pack, media interviews, and the kind of focus you'd expect from a pro. And through it all, he stayed grounded. His dad has worked hard to make sure Blaze enjoys being a kid even as the world watches. That balance of discipline and childhood is a big reason why Blaze hasn't burned out. And yes, he's still fast. While his recent times may not have recreated the shock factor of that 13.48, coaches say he's building the right foundation. His training now focuses on endurance, technique, and strength. It's not just about going viral anymore, it's about developing for the long term. What sets Blaze apart isn't just his speed, it's his mindset. He doesn't run to impress, you can tell he runs because he loves it. He trains hard, stays focused, and always wants to be better. That work ethic is rare, even among adults, and it's why many believe he's not just a passing trend. He's become a symbol of potential for young athletes everywhere. In schools across the country, his name comes up when talking about discipline and hard work. Youth coaches tell kids to look at Blaze's story as proof that dreams start early, and success comes with effort. Blaze's story is a blueprint for what happens when talent, discipline, and family support come together. He's been featured in documentaries, brand campaigns, and national interviews. His message? Greatness can start at any age. Now, as Blaze enters his teens, the focus shifts to what comes next. In addition to the offer from Sacramento State in 2025, Blaze has also reportedly received interest from other Division I programs such as Florida A&M and Delaware State. These schools began tracking his athletic journey from a young age due to his unique combination of track speed and football instincts. His early recruitment is a sign of how college programs now scout potential much earlier, especially for athletes who dominate in multiple sports. National media coverage hasn't slowed down. Sports Illustrated, ABC Action News, and Yahoo Sports have continued to follow Blaze's growth. His features have become more detailed, shifting from viral wonder to next-generation prospect. He's frequently invited to youth football showcases, high-performance training camps, and off-season workout sessions hosted by NFL alumni. Even today, Blaze trains under structured routines designed for long-term progression, not just short-term gains. Strength and conditioning, sprint mechanics, and mental toughness are all areas being actively developed. His father, who still oversees his day-to-day routine, has spoken publicly about prioritizing balance and avoiding burnout, a rare but essential approach in youth sports where pressure can mount early. What's also significant is Blaze's visibility among professional athletes. NFL players and trainers who've seen him perform at camps regularly comment on his poise, movement control, and straight-line burst. More than just a youth athlete, Blaze has now become a case study in the potential of early talent guided with patience. Coaches reference his path when discussing development versus overexposure. His trajectory shows that with the right mindset and support system, it's possible to sustain long-term excellence even in a world obsessed with quick fame. Whether Blaze Ingram ultimately chooses football, track, or a combination of both, his foundation is secure. Verified times, real college offers, and support from elite circles have already proven that his success isn't a fluke. It's part of a well-planned journey. The real story now is what comes next, and Blaze seems more prepared than ever to meet the moment. Will he dominate high school track? Will football become his primary path? No one knows for sure, but what's certain is he's not finished, not even close. His journey has become about more than stats. It's about belief. He gave people something to root for, proof that age doesn't limit ambition. He's been compared to legends, but he's carving his own path. With discipline, family support, and undeniable drive, Blaze is equipped for something special. And the best part, he's still growing, still learning, still grinding. That's why this story matters. Not just because he was fast at 7, but because he never stopped chasing greatness. At 7, he stunned the world. At 13, he's growing stronger, smarter, and faster. And if you thought Blaze peaked early, think again. The world hasn't seen anything yet.
Koech from Kerr. Whiteman surely has too much to do. Kerr on the shoulder. It's the 18-year-old. What has Kerr got left? Impudent from Koech. He's got 50 meters to go. Has Kerr got enough? No. It's Koech who's going to take the win. Keep an eye on the clock. 3:28.82. It's a new meeting record.
Fanuel Koech just shattered expectations. Is he the future of the 1500 meters? Nobody saw this coming. Not the fans, not the commentators, not even the reigning world champion. At just 18 years old, Fanuel Koech lined up for the men's 1500 meters at the 2025 London Diamond League and ran the race of his life. Clocking an explosive 3:28.82, he didn't just win. He dismantled the favorites, set a new meet record, and made history. But the shock didn't end there. The stage was set for a British showcase. Josh Kerr, the reigning world champion and national hero, stood at the front. Jake Whiteman, another titan of British middle-distance running, waited just steps behind. The crowd was electric, 60,000 strong, ready for what they thought would be a coronation. Then Fanuel Koech happened. Mills led early, with Kerr strategically tucked behind. Koech quietly held third. But with 200 meters to go, everything changed. Kerr surged. Koech followed. Mills tumbled. And in the final straight, Koech found another gear. He left Kerr grasping at shadows and stormed through the finish in 3 minutes, 28.82 seconds, a new London Diamond League record. "I was not expecting to run like that today," he said, breathless. "Tactics did not go to plan. I just had to go with 200 meters to go." His composure, his closing speed, his confidence, it all hinted at something rare, something historic. That time, 3:28.82 was stunning. But just a month earlier, at the Paris Diamond League, Koech had done something even more shocking. In only his second competitive race over 1,500 meters, he ran 3 minutes 27.72 seconds. Let that sink in. 3:27.72 at 18 years old. That's faster than Olympic silver medalist Josh Kerr. Faster than Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Only 9 men in history have run faster, and all of them were seasoned elites. Koech's Paris run was a World U20 record, and a wake-up call to every middle-distance runner on the planet. There's a new name in the mix, and he's coming fast. Let's put this in perspective. Hicham El Guerrouj, the greatest 1,500-meter runner in history, holds the world record at 3 minutes 26.00 seconds. Koech is now less than 2 seconds off that mark. At 18. Even more astonishing, he only started racing the 1,500 meters seriously in 2025. In May, he ran 3:32.26 in Lucca. A month later, he dropped 5 seconds off that time. By July, he was beating world champions in front of packed stadiums. Is this natural talent? Is it something more? The athletics world is divided. Not everyone is applauding. Some skeptics have pointed to Kenya's long-standing doping concerns, questioning how such rapid improvement is possible. Athletics Illustrated published a scathing editorial suggesting that performances like Koech's don't make sense. But as of now, Koech has never tested positive, and his story, though extraordinary, doesn't defy logic entirely. He trains with Claudio Berardelli, a respected coach who also oversees Emmanuel Wanyonyi. He's part of a high-performance group based in Eton, and he's been breaking through for over a year. From a personal best of 1 minute 46.93 seconds in the 800 meters to dominating U20 cross-country races, Koech's progression has been steady. The times may be eye-popping, but the rise hasn't been out of nowhere. Still, the scrutiny is real, because when you run times this fast, this young, everyone starts watching closer. Koech's story starts in Kiwapmwai, Uasin Gishu County, Kenya, the youngest of 10 siblings, raised by a single mother after his father passed before his birth. He started running at his local primary school. His talent stood out early, and he later enrolled at St. Francis Kimuran School near Eton, an academy with a track record of producing legends like David Rudisha.